Kathy Ann St. Hill St. Lawrence is a special education teacher in Barbados. She was one of the specially invited guests at a forum on special education. This event was organized by teachers involved in an education program facilitated by the Ministry of Education's Higher Education Development Unit in collaboration with VII College. In this video, Mrs. St. Hill St. Lawrence shares a few ideas on the issue of special education in Barbados.
In special education, I have met and worked with several principals. I've worked with education officers. And I've never, that is not a mentality that I have ever encountered in my 8 years of special ed.
Not here from a mainstream.
Correct, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Right. So I've never encountered that before. I don't necessarily, and as much as I sympathize with your challenges and because I know, I always tell people, parents of special ed children are something special themselves because they require a level of strength, they require a level of dedication that other parents, even though they might have it, don't oftentimes have to call upon. They have to be advocates, they have to fight, they have to work a lot harder a lot of times. No, but as an educator, I cannot, as a special education educator, I cannot sit and agree with you when you say that special education teachers don't have it right. I can't agree with that because I think what happens, we in special education, I say we in special education, we do the best with what we have. And I think that what we are able to accomplish, I dare anyone who does not work in special education to come in. And that is not to take away from your experiences. I've listened to your experiences sadden me. However, I cannot, as a special educator, as somebody who works with people who try their best, who oftentimes pull their own pockets, who oftentimes take children to doctor's appointments, who oftentimes go to welfare with parents. You know, Mr. Strong will tell you how many times we've left and gone to welfare and gone to national insurance and gone and to work with children. So I can't say that we don't have it right. I can say we do the best with what we have. No, are there challenges? Are there deficits? Yes, there are. But we do the best. Now, I understand with my colleague over here saying that all teachers should be exposed to special education, special needs. And that is great, that is fantastic. I, as a special educator, and I'm speaking for myself, I know I see my education officer back there, Ms. Gibbs, and two of my principals that I respect dearly. I am speaking, so they've taught me well, but I'm not speaking for them. Even though you may have been trained in special ed, or you may have taken a couple of special ed courses, or you may have been exposed to special ed, some of y'all we don't want. And I will be very, very frank. And there's nothing wrong with that. As a social worker, as a trained social worker, I was always taught, you cannot help everyone. Just because you have trained somebody in special ed does not mean special ed is for them. I tell people all the time, I did not find special ed found me. As a special education educator, and as you said you respect teachers who have to deal with a lot of children at one time and at one time. That's why I was waiting for I think where she was going. At our school, it is encouraged that parents, if they want to come along to us, or if we have a child that is, I would say, a runner, or a child that would require a lot of extra attention, and you are going out of the school has its own dynamics, because a lot of special ed children, and you want to put at a teacher's door, a lot of parents do not expose their children to lots of experiences outside of school. So when they go on tours, that is the only opportunity they have, and it kind of puts their system into overload. So when you have 7 children with special ed and you're on a field trip, we welcome a parent that will come and assist with the child. Now, I will also say, there are some of my children that behave one way with the teacher and their behavior is totally different with their parent. So there's some of them that we have some that when their parent is around, they will run all over, they will do all kinds, and so a lot of times, we will not necessarily say not invite a parent to come. But a lot of times the understanding is you have to understand that children, or they sometimes, because they go with the norm and what they're accustomed to. So I have a child right now that he requires extra attention for field trips. I have 7 other children whose safety I need to look out for. I am not saying that your child is then at the bottom of my list or that child is at the bottom of my list. But I am saying that when his mother comes and his mother is with him, his behavior is 10 times worse. So it would not be safe or prudent of me to say, have his mother come on the field trip. But we will try to the teachers will usually try to do their best they can. But however, there are certain instances that until your child works up to a point where their behavior is such that they can be, because it's not to say that you're excluding the child forever, but they are in reality in special ed. I know sometimes a lot of people who do not work with special ed day in and day out, they sit down outside and they sometimes say, oh, Kadir, oh, Mr. Harsh, you're going to have to do that, but you do not understand the dynamics that we have to work with sometimes. And the reality is, because I want to give somebody else the opportunity, is that as a parent, you are going to not be able to step back from a situation the way a teacher can. We love, and you will hear us in special education, we don't call children our students, we call them our children. If somebody asks me how many children I have, I tell them 102. That usually stops anybody from trying to hit on me. But basically, you call them our children, that's what you say. But as a parent, that is like, I have a brother, I cannot tutor him. I am an IT teacher, but I cannot tutor him because I am personally invested in Kamal. And I get more frustrated with Kamal because my understanding, my expectation is, well, you should be able to do this. And even if I don't say it, I am more passionate about him. There's certain decisions I might make as a teacher. But if a teacher at his school made it and I feel like, oh my gosh, you're being unfair to my brother. I want to go up there and I want to go to the office and I want to quarrel. And I have to step back and say, you know what? I am looking at this from a passionate perspective. I am not looking at it from an objective perspective. So I just want to close to say that I am sorry for all that you have encountered and all that you have endured. I would encourage you to continue to fight for your child. And for the parent, the principal that said, oh, you know, they had 7 people and they were happy, that is the reality of special ed. We do not get a lot of parent turn. A lot of times, a lot of parents have special needs themselves, and a lot of them will not come. A lot of them work in those jobs that pay $7 an hour downtown, and if they leave, then their entire pay gets affected. So a lot of them can't come. So when a principal sees 7 people at a meeting, oh my goodness, it's almost like we have 1,000 because you know the struggle that the parent had to make to get there.